Going, guys? It is MattySports back again, bringing you my Week 3 predictions of the college football season, of the 2013 college football season. Now, before I start my 10 games that I'll pick this week, I forgot to mention in the last video what my record was the first week, and I'm going to tell you guys what my record was last week in Week 2. But my Week 1 record was 8-2. I got Boise State and Washington incorrect, and I got Clemson and Georgia wrong, but got the upset special North Dakota State over Kansas State, and overall I went 8-2 in Week 1. In Week 2 I went 6-4, which is not a really good record. I did, however, get my upset special correct with Miami over Florida, as well as the other Matt. He got his upset special of BYU over Texas, so that was pretty good for both of us. And I ended up getting the marquee game picked correctly that week with Michigan winning over Notre Dame. But now here we are in Week 3, and I have 10 games for you right now. And the schedule's starting to pick up. We got some interesting games this week, so let's go ahead and get things started with the top 25 matchup right off the bat. And that matchup is number 16 UCLA traveling to number 23 Nebraska in the Sea of Red. Now, I see UCLA winning this game. However, I think the crowd in Nebraska with the Sea of Red is going to help them out tremendously. Taylor Martinez is going to have a great game for Nebraska in order for them to win this game. But as I said in my AP poll breakdown, I think UCLA is going to be a great team this year, and I think UCLA is going to win this game. In our second game we have here is Tennessee traveling at number 2 Oregon. Now, I pick Oregon in this. It's kind of a no-brainer. Tennessee, they're probably not going to win this game, and if they do, heck, I'll be amazed. But Oregon should win this pretty easily. Marcus Mariota and DeAnthony Thomas should run the score up on the Tennessee Volunteers' defense, and I see this as being a blowout game for Oregon's win. Next up, we have an ACC matchup of Georgia Tech at Duke. This is a pretty interesting game. This is a pretty huge game for the division because these were two contending teams last year in the Coastal Division. But I have Georgia Tech winning this game at Duke. I see the triple option as being too much for Duke, and I think Duke's going to have a down year this year after losing their quarterback. And I think Georgia Tech's going to have a pretty good year this year, and I see them winning at Duke to get their first conference win. Next up, we have UCF at Penn State. I see Penn State winning this game. I think Bill O'Brien is going to come back and win this game. I think Penn State's going to have too much offense for UCF. UCF does have a great chance at the upset, though. I almost had them for my upset special, but I just see Penn State as too much, and the fact that UCF has to travel at Penn State. If it was at home, I could see UCF winning this game, but because it is at Penn State, I see the Nittany Lions taking this win. Next up, we have an SEC matchup in the SEC West with the Mississippi State Bulldogs traveling to the Auburn Tigers. Now, this is kind of an interesting game. These are probably the two worst teams in the SEC West, in my opinion. Maybe Arkansas, but it's going to be a close game. I see Auburn winning, though, because it is at Auburn. Mississippi State had some loss. Auburn did win that game against Washington State, who Washington State ended up being USC, which was actually a pretty surprising win. But I just like Auburn's chances in winning this game, and I don't think Mississippi State's going to come out and compete as hard as they need to win this game at Auburn. Next up, we have an ACC versus AAC matchup with Maryland traveling at UConn. I see Maryland winning this game. I think they're going to want some revenge over Connecticut because UConn did beat Maryland last year at Maryland Stadium. And I think the key for Maryland's win is going to be C.J. Brown. C.J. Brown has the best quarterback rating, has the best QBR in all of college football. So because of that, I see Maryland traveling at UConn. UConn is having a down year this year. They lost to Towson in their first week of the college football season, and Maryland's taking care of business against their game. So I see Maryland winning at UConn, making Maryland improve to 3-0. Next up, we have a Big Ten versus Pac-12 matchup with number 20 Wisconsin traveling at Arizona State. Now, I almost picked this for my upset special because Arizona State, they're a decent team every year. Like, they're not a top 25 team, but they're that team that can pull an upset if they need to. I see Wisconsin winning this game, though. I think Arizona State's crowd behind them can help them out. But I think Wisconsin's offensive line is going to be too much for the Arizona State defensive line to handle. And I think Wisconsin's going to be able to pound the ball through the middle, and I think Wisconsin's going to win this game at Arizona State. Next up, we have a rivalry game between the Big Ten and the Big 12 with Iowa taking on Iowa State at Iowa State. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like this rivalry. I think it's an interesting rivalry every year. Iowa used to dominate this rivalry back in the 2000s and late 2000s, but lately Iowa State's been starting to win this rivalry. Iowa State's starting to become a contender, and it is at Iowa State, and I think the Iowa State Cyclones are a better team than Iowa this year. So I see Iowa State winning this game on their home turf. So I think it should be an easy one for Iowa State, but you never know. It is a rivalry. But in the end, I see Iowa State coming off the win here. Next up, I have my upset special, which is number 25, Ole Miss, going to at Texas to take on the Longhorns. I have Texas winning this game. This is my upset special. I think Texas is going to bounce back from that humiliating loss at BYU. I think David Ash is going to come out and have a great game. And I think Mac Brown's going to get behind his players to really push them to turn their season back around and start things off with a win against a top 25 team in Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a young team. They did get all those top recruits from this year's recruiting class, and they started to show off how great they are early on in the season. But I think Texas is going to bounce back with a win here, and I think Ole Miss is going to struggle on the road. And lastly, we have the marquee game, the game that everyone's going to be watching, and it's going to be a good one. It is number 1 Alabama going on the road to Texas A&M in College Station, home of the 12th man. I have Alabama winning this game. I think A.J. McCarron's going to out-duel Johnny Manziel in the quarterback battle. I think Johnny Manziel is going to be too cocky. I think he's going to have some mistakes. And I think Alabama's definitely still angry from that loss last year when they lost to Texas A&M at their home turf. So I see Alabama getting some payback and coming back on the road and taking care of their business against Texas A&M. I don't think Texas A&M is going to do this great in this or that good in this game. I think Alabama is too loaded on every single position except their offense. Alabama needs to improve their offense. If they do that, because they did struggle against Virginia Tech in the first week. But if Alabama can improve their offense, I think they should win this game easily. However, if their offense stays the same, I can see Texas A&M as pulling off the upset here. But as long as Nick Saban gets his offense, because their defense is fine, as long as Nick Saban gets his offense to come together and play like they are a great offense like they were last year, then I see Alabama winning this game. But that's it for week 3, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you have any of your own predictions, leave in the comments below. If you have any opinions or criticism, anything like that, leave in the comments below. I think these 10 games are more interesting than the past 2 weeks. There's some pretty good games. Not too many top 25 games yet, only 2, but definitely more interesting conference matchups that are starting to take place here. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys for my Week 4 predictions, where I'll pick those 10 games and tell you guys what my record for this week was. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in Week 4.